Yo, what's up, everybody? Beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Ta1k Podcast. On this podcast, we spell talk with the one instead of an L because on this podcast, we always keep it 100. All right. Hey, guess who's back? Back again. Keith is back. Tell your friend. Welcome to another episode of Talk, Keith. How do you feel?
Good.
For the people that's going to see when it comes out, me and Keith actually just got done doing an episode, so we are double down right now. But we started our new podcast, Burgess&Son, episode 1, that will drop on Monday. Y'all will see this episode probably tonight, maybe Sunday morning. So be ready to see that podcast when it comes out. If you haven't already, follow Burgess&Son on all social medias. We got Instagram. I haven't did Twitter yet. We have Instagram. We have just Instagram. YouTube. Thank you. YouTube, Instagram,
and we will have Facebook.
Huh?
And we will have Facebook.
And we got Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify. That's where you can find all the clips and all the episodes. Burgess&Son. Just like y'all find Ta1k Podcast on both Spotify and YouTube, you can find, and on Instagram and Twitter and all that, you can easily find Burgess&Son on the other ones. All right, so we are closing in on episode 50. Okay, this is episode 46. We're close to episode 50. I can't believe it. It seemed like yesterday I just really started episode 1. And a couple of weeks, well, really in a couple of weeks, it's going to be a year since I started doing Ta1k. And it's been nothing but amazing. It's been me basically feeling like I'm my own therapist, talking to myself most of the time. Doing my takes and nobody says anything back or has any criticism to say. It's been very fantastic. And now, ever since last night happened, I know I got a lot of viewers. I remember when we did either our first or second episode together, you talked about Kenny Anderson, and he actually liked the reel. And then last night, the one and only Mark Jackson actually commented on one of my videos. Because we was talking about him in our last episode. So people are starting to watch and people are starting to tune in, and I'm very happy. Okay, so Mr. Burgess, how do you feel about our new podcast, and how do you feel that how do you think we're going to do in the future with our podcast?
I'm just in it for the fun of it. I love it. So, of course, when I started on social media 4 years ago, mostly on TikTok, transitioned more over to Facebook, but I just love the fun of it. It's pretty cool to be able to kind of express your opinions and have people, kind of maybe not share the same opinion sometimes, but it's still all good.
Yeah, always all good. All right. So it's not the best time of the year, but it's also the best time of the year. March Madness. We are deep into not deep, but we are just now starting March Madness. But it's been craziness. Okay, what's crazy is either the game is super close, or it's a blowout and it gets super close, or it's a complete blowout. So, for you, March Madness, you already know when it comes with what team are you really watching as we watch the tournament?
None of them in particular. I've been a college basketball fan since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. My favorite team has always been the Georgetown Hoyas.
Oh, really?
So they have been just been an absolute dumpster fire for probably about the last 20 years.
Do they still got Patrick Ewing as their coach?
No. They fired him last year.
Did they fire him for real?
Yeah. Yeah, last year or year before.
Wow, I didn't know they fired him.
Well, when you don't win, you don't get to keep your job.
Yeah, you already know how that goes. I got 3 teams for sure that I said possibly has a chance of winning it all. Auburn, I think, is probably the best team that can win it all, in my opinion. Auburn, Duke. I believe in Cooper Flagg. I think Cooper Flagg is good, and I think he puts Duke over the top. And last team I think that has a chance of winning it all, but I don't know because they're so sometimey when it comes to this part of the year, is Houston. Houston for the past 2 or 3 years, maybe really 3 or 4 years, have been great in the regular season, have been great in tournament time, maybe lost the championship or win the championship. But when it gets to the NCAA tournament, I don't know what happens. I think this year they actually have a chance of getting over that hump. But I don't know. We'll see. Now, Duke is probably the best one that I say because I feel like they have the best player in Cooper Flag. And I think they have a chance of doing something special with Cooper Flag as their leader. In my opinion, with NIL deals now that these kids are getting, I think Cooper Flag just signed a $10 million NIL deal, if I'm not mistaken. And this with New Balance and some more companies. I think Cooper Flag should stay in college. I know he's NBA ready, body and physical talent. He's NBA ready. But the way the NIL is going, and you see how in our other podcasts we talked about Bronny, how they're trashing him, and he's the 55th overall pick. Him, Cooper Flag being the top pick, you know they're going to trash you. So why not stay in college, get your money, get more development? I mean, I know you're playing against amateurs to who you are, but shit, why not get them more development? Do you think Cooper Flag should come out of college after this year?
The next time Duke loses, he's gone. And he should. There's no way he should stay in college. Absolutely no way. Yeah, he's got a $10 million NIL deal. A lot of these companies use the NIL to get their hooks into them while they're young so that when they make it to the NBA, they're still part of that family.
Yeah.
So I remember a story where he was playing with the 2024 Olympic team and was dominating them, and he was actually still in high school himself.
Yes.
So he's definitely NBA ready.
Yeah.
I would go to the NBA because I wouldn't want to risk getting hurt in college when it's apparent. If you're going to be the number one pick in any sport, there's no way you should stay in school. It's automatic you should come out. You have much more potential to make way more money as a pro than you will as a college superstar. So if he's making $10 million basically in advertising deals from college, he'll make more than that as a pro and actually get paid for the games themselves by his NBA team. So I think the earning potential is bigger. I think the risk is higher if he stays. But when you're dominating NBA players and you're in high school, man, there's no reason to delay that. Just go. Like, there's players that I definitely believe should stay, and they go anyway. He's not one of them. He should go.
I believe that, I feel like, players, you have your players, and then you have the ones that should stay and should go. One thing I will say is, only reason that I think he should stay in college, maybe another year or two, is I just feel like it's no rush to go to the league. You have the money that you need. I do believe that if you do get hurt before you go to the league, that can hurt you, period. And I get that a lot. I do really get that. But I just also on the verge of, I'm literally looking at Bronny and all these other cats that they call bust after a year not being good. And if you have a slow start, I don't want them to call you a bust. I don't want you to get super criticized and then put you down as a player after they hyped you up so much. I mean, look at Zion now. People talk about Zion, and I think anytime that Zion touches the court, he's great. But nobody really talks about him being the best player like they thought he was going to be. And they'll shoot him down before they pick him up. I just don't want that on anybody, especially kids that's coming out of college. I don't know. Do I believe that he, like I said, he's NBA ready and he should come out? Yes, I think he definitely should. If you're NBA ready and we can see that you're NBA ready, come on out. Because he played against Team USA in their practice and he was killing them, motherfucker. Like killing them. And so, and these are not just killing, other prospects that trying to try out for the team. You're talking about he's practicing with KD, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Steph Curry. The people that was on Team USA and he was keeping up with them. So, for me, I don't know. That's just up in the air, toss up in the air. We'll see what happens after that. I still think Duke has the best chance of winning the national championship with Cooper Flag. And if that happens, if you go literally one and done and you won a championship doing the one and done, and you come into the league as the number one overall pick, you are. I think it's gonna be good for him. NFL, even though we are months away from NFL. I miss football already. We're months away from NFL, but we are close to the NFL draft. We got a couple of more, I think another month into the NFL draft. Of course, we talked about it in other podcast or past podcasts that we've done. Talking about Shador, talking about Cam, Travis Hunter, talking about all these players. Is there a player that nobody really is highly talking about that you think that he might be a steal of the draft?
A steal. I don't. It depends on how the draft shakes. Mm-hmm. Because you just, if you remember that year with Laramie Tunsil when he came out, mm-hmm. and they were talking about him as like a guaranteed top 3 pick, and then they released that video with him smoking the weed with the gas mask on and everything, and he fell to like 12 or 13 or wherever he fell to. You just never know when it's going to happen. But even at that time when he fell, I think it was to Miami.
Was it to Miami?
Yeah, because he ended up getting traded to Houston. Yeah. They considered it a steal, for him to be so talented and for them to fall into his lap fall into their lap at 12. So it depends on how it shakes. The one player that I would say that I think people are putting too much stock in mm-hmm. and making too big a deal out of is Ashton Genty.
Uh-huh. You think so?
Now, I think he's a good player. I don't know about him being great at the NFL level. But people are talking about him possibly going top 10. And I kind of understand because, he did so great in college. But I watched some games, and if I'm being honest, maybe the only player I could think of that's possibly going under the radar is Cam Scatterboo.
Yes.
So,
and Cam Scatterboo is really like that motherfucker is cold. And he can run and catch. He can do whatever you want and can play fullback. I look at him as a faster and probably better cat from San Francisco. 44 the fullback.
Oh, Juszczyk?
Yeah.
I don't know about that because I don't think he's that big. So I think he's like 5'11", 215.
Well, I'm talking more of like production level. Like he can Juszczyk can run he's a fullback so he blocks, but he can run the ball like a running back. He can catch the ball like a receiver if you need him to. Like his production level, I feel like that's what I look at Scatterboo as.
I think he would be more of a all-purpose running back.
Yeah, of course so.
Than a fullback for sure. But I just remember what he did to my Texas Longhorn in that playoff game, and he pretty much he's just about won the game for them.
He put that
pretty much by himself, and he was bottled up until the second half, and then he just went off. And it's not just that he's talented, but I mean, like, dude, you got a dog in him. Mm-hmm. And to me, if I was running the team, there's lots of talent, in college ranks. There's lots of everybody in the NFL is talented too, but you have them people who have that desire, that grit, mm-hmm. that energy that translates to the rest of the team. Yep. That's the type of guy you want to bring on board. Now, I'm not saying he should be somebody's first round pick or anything like that, mm-hmm. but if you can take him late second or third round or something like that. I think that could possibly be a steal. But then again, I think everybody knows who he is. So yeah. I don't know. I'm not so into the like who's getting picked after maybe the top 10. Mm-hmm. a lot of times, honestly, on draft day they're picking number 23. I don't even know who that player is. I ain't never heard of.
Really, to be honest, from after maybe, I'd say after the first round, but for sure after maybe pick 20, maybe pick 20. That's when you get the players that you didn't know. And in the other rounds, like, you just be like, all right, who is this player? Now, it's been some times that players picked in those late first round or the second round, third rounds that, like, I knew, but I didn't watch. I just happened to know by name. Like, I knew AJ. Only reason I knew AJ Brown when he came, when the Titans drafted him, was because really of DK. Because I saw DK, how big he was, and then they showed the picture of him and AJ. I was like, these are two big motherfuckers. And they both played wide receiver. Ole Miss I feel like if you had a good quarterback, a great quarterback at Ole Miss, they could have won a national championship because you had DK and you had AJ Brown on the same roster in the SEC. I think it was good. I really don't have anybody that can say like steal the draft. I think the draft this year is so much like it's not quarterback heavy. Like it's quarterbacks that we know that's going to go to the draft, but I don't think a lot of teams need a quarterback themselves. Like the Titans need a quarterback, and like maybe the Browns, you could say the Giants. But really, those are your teams that always is. If they're good, they're surprised. You're surprised, but if they're bad, it's another day in office. But I think with this draft, it's like it's a lot of skill positions and really alignment. Skill positions and alignments that are dominating this year and are going to go crazy. I think old boy from Carter from Penn State, Abdul Carter.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's not a steal because he's a top player and he's going to get picked high. But I think anybody who gets him, any top team that gets him that didn't pick a quarterback, that didn't pick Cam Ward or didn't pick Shador or didn't pick Travis Hunter, I think that's a steal. Because I think even the Titans, I talk my shit, and I don't think we should pick a dual card, but I wouldn't be mad if we did. Because it's hard to find defensive ends or pass rushing. Let me not say just defensive ends. It's hard to find pass rushers. And the ones that have came and got drafted and went to the game and been crazy, like, you see what happens. When Von Miller came in, they were like, oh, he's a good one. You see what happened. All-time great. Myles Garrett, all-time great. Even Michael Parsons coming out. They was like, oh, he's going to be a good pass rusher. Now that, not just the pass rusher, I think Michael Parsons is a great defensive player. Like, he can play whatever position you want him to. And I wouldn't be surprised. But I do think he can be a low-key, quote-unquote, steal, if that makes sense. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Who I am excited for, I'm not going to lie. I want Shedeur Sanders. Only because, as a Titans fan, I want Shedeur Sanders, number one. And I get it. I think Cam Ward is better. He's a better prospect. But I want Shedeur. I want to bring the attention to the market. No player really has been bringing the attention. Like, we had Chris Johnson, who was a great player. Still didn't bring enough attention. Derrick Henry still didn't bring enough attention.
Yeah, McNair, he did.
McNair brought attention, but I think Shedeur can bring more attention. Like, when I say attention, like Victor Wembanyama to the Spurs had a terrible record, but still getting primetime games. Mm-hmm. Like, because he brought that attention. And so I think Shedeur brings attention to it to, like, I'm not saying we're going to get primetime games, but we definitely going to be, like, instead of, like, you know, if you live in, like, Minnesota, instead of seeing after the Vikings game go off, instead of seeing like the main game will be a Titans game because Shedeur is playing. So I want that. What do you? I mean, I know you're not a Titans fan, but I know you watch because of us, me and Mom. But who do you think? Do you think Shedeur will be good with us, or do you think we should just go with the obvious in Cam Ward?
I think I don't really know 100% what to think about Shedeur Sanders. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course, we saw him play live.
Yes.
And he did not look good.
No.
However, he was running for his life. And every time he yelled "Hut," there was a BYU Cougar directly in his face. So one thing you can say about Shedeur is he's definitely tough. He can definitely look down the barrel of that gun. You know? But I'm
the fact that he gets up, like I'm talking about not just that game we saw, like it's been games that I watched on TV. Like, how did he get up?
Yeah. But as far as NFL team building, my thought is this: you have to start with the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And if you have the number 1 overall pick, and your quarterback is Will freaking Levis, you need a quarterback. And with the number 1 overall pick, you need to take the best one. I think that's Cam Ward. Mm. And I believe that if the Titans are smart, now unless they, for some reason in their building, they don't believe either one of these quarterbacks are franchise-type guys, which that may or may not be the case. But if I was building a franchise, I got to go quarterback first because those are the rarest. That's the hardest position to fill. I'm not saying edge rusher ain't important. It is.
Yes, it's just.
But every year there's 3 or 4 pretty elite pass rushers that come in the league. Quarterbacks, elite ones, that's rare.
Very rare.
That's rare. So, I mean, like, if I believe a quarterback has a chance to be elite, and I got the number 1 overall pick, and I don't already have a solid quarterback in place, I'm taking the quarterback first.
And you're taking Cam.
And then even after that, once I have the quarterback in place, I'm going offensive line after that because you got to make sure that quarterback stays upright and intact.
Mm.
Then I start worrying about some of the other positions like, edge rusher, corner, and that kind of thing. But, you do have multiple picks in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And so your first round pick is not the only player you're going to select. And a lot of times you can get down in the 4th, 5th, 6th round and still get a pretty good player who can start and contribute.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to have a really good scouting department who knows what they're doing, who's working in conjunction with the coaching staff to bring in the types of players that are going to work in your system.
Yeah.
So I think it is a whole organizational thing, but I think you go quarterback first, offensive line after that, and then everything else falls, kind of.
Just follow in your lap.
Yeah, it just kind of follows after that because if you don't have the quarterback,
what's the purpose?
You have no chance. There's no, dude. At least not in today's NFL. In the early 2000s with the Ravens, you know what I'm saying, where they had Trent Dilfer. Even though honestly, coming out of college, he was a bad boy.
Where did he go to college?
Somewhere in the West Coast, like you're making me Washington or Washington State or Oregon or one of the Oregon State or it was one of them Pac-12 schools where they just threw the ball around the yard all the time. And he was really good in college. And then he got to the NFL. It didn't work out immediately for him. But he's a smart guy. He took care of the football, and the rest of the roster was just loaded. Nowadays with the salary cap, it's harder to do that. Because of the salary cap. And if you have a great quarterback on your roster, if he's been in the league 4 or 5 years, you're going to have to pay him.
Yeah.
And so if he's showing flashes of that early, that's where you can be aggressive with some of the other players. But, you have to get the quarterback in place. You must. Today's NFL, you're not winning the Super Bowl without a top-level quarterback.
Or at least a nice top-tier quarterback. I feel like a lot of people disrespect Jalen Hurts by saying he's not a top 5 quarterback. Like,
he is.
He's been a top quarterback literally since he kind of came. Not gonna say came to the league, but like after his first couple of years, you started saying like, oh, you get him the weapons, he can go win you some games. It says California State University or Fresno.
There you go. I knew it was on the West Coast somewhere.
All right. So that's for the college for Trent Dilfer. But yes, I think last year you got the Washington Commanders. I think you guys put in the blueprint of what to do. Like you said, you need a quarterback. And when you pick the quarterback who a lot of people didn't think he was going to be good, but you picked at the time, just won the Heisman. He's one of the best quarterbacks available, if not the best quarterback available. So take him. And then you literally go into the season and you're like, well, the worst you can do is lose games as a rookie quarterback. But not only does he win games, he got you to the NFC Championship game as a rookie. I think that that's a nice blueprint. The only problem that I have with that is now you're going to look at teams like the Titans, the Giants. They're going to try to do that same thing. And it doesn't really work every year or every time like that. I would hope so. I hope that wherever Cam Ward and Shador go, that I hope they excel. But we never know what's going to happen with the organization. And it sucks, but, it is what it is. It's business. What's best for business. Speaking about what's best for business, I know you are not a big WWE fan. I know you used to watch it, but you don't watch it now. But I'm going to talk about a little bit of some WWE. We are getting closer to WrestleMania. WrestleMania will be next month on the 19th and the 20th, 420. And it's Easter. 420 is on Easter this year. That's crazy. Or Easter is on 420 this year. That's crazy. We're getting closer to Mania. All the drama is going crazy. Jade Naomi came out last night on SmackDown and killed Jey after Jey destroyed her 2 weeks ago. That's going crazy. John Cena just turned heel for the first time in his career. We talking about you was about to retire after this year and you decided to be a bad guy. What a plot twist. And it's crazy. Now everybody hates him. Everybody's booing him. He's cussing everybody out. Fuck you, fuck them kids. Like, it's going crazy right now. Now, I know you know Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes, his son Cody Rhodes is actually, I would say, the new John Cena right now. He's the new baby face. I don't know about title-wise if he's going to be like John Cena, but he's definitely everybody loves Cody, and he's the good guy. If John Cena wins the championship at WrestleMania, he actually passes your boy, Ric Flair, for most championships of all time, with 17 to Ric Flair 16. So right now they're tied, but if John Cena wins, he got 17. That's going crazy. Jey Uso, that's one of my favorite wrestlers right now. Jey Uso, in my opinion, is getting too much criticism because you look at what you kind of look at is, I feel like with the WWE, your main thing is entertainment. First of all, are you entertaining, and can you get the crowd involved, and who you are, did the crowd love you? He does all three. Now, just like in any other sport, once you become on top, people start to hate you. Now I'm seeing a lot of criticism on Jey Uso, like, oh, well, he only says one word. That's why the crowd likes him, and he only does like 3 moves. That's the only reason he's doing this. He don't deserve his title shot. And this, a year ago, y'all was saying he deserved a title shot because of the same thing that you're saying he don't now. I don't like the criticism, but it is what it is. But like I said, I feel like, do you feel like what I said? As soon as you get on top and you establish yourself as great and people start to see you as great, do you really think that that's the true narrative of, like, that's when the true hate and the real hate start to finally come?
Oh yeah, that's life in general.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're on the way up, people tend to support you in your struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you make it, especially if they haven't, it's you're arrogant or any of the other excuses. It's like it's what America's famous for. We're famous for building people up, and then once they get there, taking extreme pleasure in tearing them down.
Extreme.
So I mean, it's just kind of what we do here.
Yeah, and that sucks, man. But I feel like also with all that criticism, because I think Jey Uso is on his way to the top, if not on the top. When you go, I'm looking at it. Even when they had Monday Night Raw at Madison Square Garden is one of the best arenas in the world, and you have all the Madison Square Garden doing your signature thing. Like you're it. They love to see you. They cheer for you. So even though it is fake or scripted, you still have to have mental preparation for it, because now mental health and mental stability is important for what you're trying to do, because, like I said, even though it can be scripted or whatnot, it's still a crazy thing of how much criticism you get. It's just a WWE wrestling, and people don't like it, and that sucks, man. But Jey Uso he's The Rock's cousin, I think. Him and Roman, all of them are related. The Rock's family is taking the fuck over. And that's what they are in the WWE now. They just taking over the WWE. When I was a kid, my favorite wrestler was Jeff Hardy. And you know what? I feel like a lot of black kids love Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was for the black community, and they used to love him. Jeff Hardy was my dude. I love Jeff. I have his thing. I have his T-shirts. I got the little orange thing. I used to do this. That's why I got into more rock music and all that, because of Jeff Hardy. It was lit. But yeah, WWE is on and popping. It's cooking like hot grease right now. Triple H, thank you so much for all that you do, sir. Continue to be great. Continue to make great storylines. And we might see Stone Cold in WrestleMania 2. So that'll be cool. You got The Rock and Stone Cold. Can I get a hell yeah? So, last thing I want to talk about. I know you saw Bronny the other night, 17 points. Yeah, I think he's coming along great. All the criticism. Now we're talking about criticism to people. All the criticism that fucking Bronny has took, which is very unfair because of who his dad is. Do you think he can be good in the league? Like, do you think he can overcome all this and actually be decent enough in the league, or do you think? And also, do you think the criticism is too much for him?
I don't know. He can answer that. But what I can tell you is this: he's not nearly as talented. He's not nearly as big. He's not nearly as fast. He's not nearly as strong as his dad. So he's never going to be as good as his dad.
Yes.
Who is? Like, almost nobody is. That's why LeBron is an all-time great. Mm-hmm. Not everybody that enters the NBA is going to be an all-time great. Mm-hmm. I think he's got the chance to be, a serviceable player, maybe a solid starter or something like that, which is a hell of an accomplishment.
Very.
Now, the thing is that the unfortunate part of it for him is that the measuring stick is his dad.
That's literally it. And
it's unfair, really, to have anybody's measuring stick be LeBron James.
Anybody.
Short of Michael Jordan, nobody is living up to that height. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's going to be a tough thing for him to get past. And mentally, he's going to have a lot of, he's going to have a lot of heartache over it. Because no matter what he does, even if he becomes an all-star, it's like his name is LeBron James Jr. Mm-hmm. And it's, well, your dad did this, or your dad did that. Yeah. So, I mean, it's
I'm
like...
not my dad, yeah.
Yeah, it's he desperately, because he said it more than once that he wants to kind of carve his own identity. And, of course, you can't ever knock a person for that. He is his own man, and he should be seen that way. Unfortunately, I just don't think he's ever really going to be seen that way. Because, I mean, he's just going to get all kind of criticism tossed at him. If he has a bad game, he's trash. He's only in the NBA because of his dad. If he has a good game, yeah, but, I mean, your daddy would have scored 37, not 17. Mm-hmm. It's like, nothing's ever really...
If you have a 30 point or 20 point, 25, 30 point game, they're gonna you'll hear crickets first, but then you'll be like same way, like, oh well, LeBron would have had a triple double with that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like nothing. Honestly, I don't think for the general public anything that he does is going to be good enough. He's going to have to surpass his dad, which is about impossible. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, I don't think we'll ever see anything like LeBron James again. Ever. In the 20 plus years of playing at the level that he's been playing at. I mean, dude,
phenomenal.
You're just not going to see that. And some of the game's greats, couldn't maintain that type of level of play. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say that LeBron James has kind of, benefited from the rules, but he's also adapted his game along with the rules too. So I don't want to get too far off topic from Bronny, because I just think he's kind of up against it. He's in a position where really no matter what he does, he can't win. Mm-hmm. And I think that's unfortunate for him, as an individual.
Especially as a young kid trying to make it his own. It's like you can't because of what your name is and who we trying to measure you to. Mm-hmm. And it sucks, bro. Also, I saw a video of LeBron yesterday. LeBron is 40 years old doing this one drill where you run down the court, lay it up, and then you got to run back. He did about 8 laps. I'm looking at this like I just got tired watching him after 2. This man is 40, still doing this full speed. Man, now I will say LeBron has been hurt for the past couple of weeks, so it's good to see him coming back and getting in good shape. Lakers, I feel like Lakers they're cooked without Bron, but I also with Bron, I give the Lakers a fair chance to win the title this year. At least if not this year, next year. What do you think?
I think they got to make some moves, really.
Do you think they need another guard more or another post?
I think they need more interior.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the one good thing that has happened with the Luka trade is it's allowed LeBron to play off the ball, which everybody thought
Anthony Davis was
they're not going to be able to coincide because they both basically, him and Luka play the same style. But he's gone to, he's gone stood in that corner.
Yeah.
And I mean, he hits shots when the ball comes to him. He's hitting shots, and he's not making as many plays, and he's not having as many assists, but like he's hitting them boards, and he's still putting the ball in the basket.
Yeah,
he's just not running the show, and I think that bodes well for them. But I still think they need a defensive presence, especially around the rim. They need more of a defensive presence than they have. But I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they made the finals. It would shock me if they won it though, because I don't think they can beat either the Cavs or the Celtics, who are probably one of them two is going to come out of the East.
Yeah, hopefully Celtics. But I will say though, I think the good thing about the trade with Luka and the Luka that he's on the Lakers is, like you said, that LeBron is able to play off ball more, and he's not the one that's in charge and running the show. That's why I also think that's why I get mad about Anthony Davis. Like, LeBron sat there and told you when you first got to LA, you are the superstar. I'm past my prime. You are the superstar. So take over. Anthony Davis had glimpses. He had 30-point games, 40-point games, monster double-double games. But he just didn't. It's a difference in you just having LeBron creating you offense and you looking at LeBron like, hey, give me the ball. And I don't think he did that enough. And that's why it kind of really didn't work. As far as now, you're looking at Luka is a ball-dominant player, and LeBron comes up to you and say, hey, look, you're ball-dominant. You're younger. This is your team. Please take over. I'm just on the side. If you need me, I'll shoot it. And if you need me to take over sometime, just let me know. And it's working out. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do make the finals or if they win. I wouldn't be surprised, but I think that trade helped the Lakers a lot, and I think it hurt Dallas a lot. I think Dallas is still crying. Some fans in Dallas have cried, and they're still crying. But it is what it is, so we'll see what happens. Thank you guys so much for joining me on episode 46, Ta1k Podcast. We are close to 50, baby. Close to 50, baby. Next week is going to be another fun episode. We're going to talk about some more birthdays that I have to host, and talk about that and get some more film going on that. Shout out to Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever as their WNBA season got maybe 2 months away from starting. Tournament, of course, March Madness is for the women as well. So shout out to all the women out there that's out there playing and leaving it out there on the court to try to win the national championship. Shout out to all you young ladies. Shout out to the men too that's out there working hard. I'm actually about to go in and watch a couple of games before I start getting ready. Yeah, anything else you want to say?
No.
Until next time, everybody, y'all know me. My name is Zay for Life, and I am out.